It's not worth winning if you can't win it!
On this episode of the Cake Eaters, we're going to be talking about some good old-fashioned pond hockey, a little ODR action. You know, this is episode 7 of the Game Changers. My name is Brandon.
My name's Heath.
Let's get it started.
Let's do it. Let's dig in.
Pond hockey, man, some ODR action.
But first, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here, Brandon. I'm gonna slam on the brakes here for a second, because before we get into the pond hockey, we got a little bit of tea. We've got the Kermit the Frog emoji sipping on the Lipton tea. It's happening right now. Drama in the building. Evan is a drama llama. Even though this podcast does prefer alpacas, not a big deal. Yep. Evan is bringing the drama. He's bringing
nothing rhymes with alpacas, though. That's the problem.
Exactly.
They needed a better name. They needed some better brand management. You know.
Although I bought a pair of alpaca socks, and those things are just so soft and so warm. It's a delightful winter sock.
Alpacas are head and shoulders better than llamas in every single aspect, except for the name.
Exactly. I could not agree with you more. And for any listeners out there in the cold weather states, drive or hop on Amazon, or support a local business online. Grab yourself some alpaca socks.
I guarantee you. I guarantee you, if you're in the Midwest, there's a local alpaca farm not too far from you. You can hit a farmer's market. Exactly. There'll be an alpaca farmer there with some socks. Support local business.
That's what we're all about.
Shop small. Hashtag shop small.
I'm all about that farmer's market. Go and get I would go to this one down the road, get a nice little quiche. I got a duck confit type of pastry. It was delightful.
A duck confit pastry. Okay.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like some cheese and some mushrooms and some onions. We'll have a spin-off foodie podcast where I just talk about all the crazy, delicious stuff I eat that makes me fat.
Okay, I look forward to it. Look forward to it.
So anyways, back to the podcast. So we've got drama. It's in the works. And honestly, Sophie should be super pissed. And she does that one thing and she calls it out. She calls him out. It's like, okay, Evan, after all this work, all this effort, the whining and dining at the pizza place, the dramatic delivery of the jersey. And that's
still such a slick move, dude. That was such a slick move.
It was. It really was. And that's why the waitress thought it was like a little romantic tryst, going on. So,
yeah.
So anyways, I love Lauren too. At the next time, she's like, this whole place smells like betrayal. Kids, were we that dramatic as kids, or are kids just this dramatic now?
Oh, I think we were definitely this dramatic for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because I love Lauren. She's secretly becoming one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah, she's fantastic. She kills it. Yeah, she has a couple different lines. She has it smells like betrayal in here. There's another right after the players only meeting. Alex is not to skip ahead, but Alex says something like, she says something about are we building our bridges back together or something like that? And Lauren shouts, I mean, they would be bridges built on lies.
Yes. I love Lauren. She's really coming into her own as a character, and you love to see it. Kid. We've got Logan. Okay, so one thing I noticed too, Logan's always behind the bar. He must be our foodie. He must be our food critique because he's always behind the bar. I don't know if you noticed that. When they show, okay.
Well, because he lives with a single dad. I'm sure he's cooking all the time at home.
Yeah, I mean,
when he's out there whining and dining delivery drivers, she can't be behind the bar all the time.
That's true. I hope someone's checked on Logan's dad because he was in rough shape 3 episodes ago. Someone go check on that guy. But Logan also, don't let his joyful eyes fool you. He's feeling betrayed. Everyone feels like Evan is Brutus, and the team is Caesar, and he has stabbed them all back.
Except for Nick. Nick is 100% ready to forgive him. But he's scared. He's going with the group though. He's following Sophie's lead. Once Sophie says it's cool to forgive him, Nick is 100% ready.
Yeah, Nick's gonna go with the flow. But before we see Nick, we see Sam looking just distraught. I don't like this. This threw me for a loop. I was like, what? Why do we have the wild card? Like maybe he is just a gentle soul under that wild exterior.
Yes, I think that's what they're going for. Is the reason he's a bit of a wild card is because he's a gentle soul. He feels a little bit. I think they're kind of going for like it's mostly done at like attention seeking, like people don't that kind of stuff. But
he's never had a friend group, right? That's what he says later. Not to
he's never had somebody. What does he say? He's never had somebody value what he brings to the table. Something like that is what he says.
Yeah, no one values the wild card. Yes, they put padding on you and throw you in the corner. Exactly,
yeah. And so this started out, the episode starts off with sad Sam. Sam's like real fucking sad. He's not talking to anybody. He's just on his phone. He's ignoring the world. Real upset.
Nick has a great line in there where Sam likes to skateboard into Nick. He's either crashing into walls or Nick.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, skateboarded into Nick quite a few times.
Nick, I don't see Nick being quick on his feet, so he's probably easy prey.
Exactly. Or it could just be, accident because he's not quick on his feet. He's definitely somebody who strikes me as somebody who would like walk into the danger zone unwillingly and then just not be able to move out of the way. But so I was hoping, the way this started out, I was hoping for like a Sam episode. I was hoping we would get some full-on backstory with Sam, similar to how we've gotten, similar episodes with the other kids. But that doesn't really happen.
No,
he's just in the background being sad.
Yeah, he's looking super sad, and then Evan's nervous to come in. He's been pacing around the building. They've been taking laps around the building, and then finally they decide, all right, cool. Let's just get in here. And Alex has a great line where she says, "Hey, it looks like you're getting ready to bother." And the team just has the ultimate fuck off expressions on their face. This is happening. Like just staring daggers through them. And I gotta be honest with you, I love the level of petty this team hits because Evan kind of deserves it.
Oh yeah. He was the one who started this whole thing. And then you're just
pissed at Alex for giving birth to a traitor.
Oh yeah. And then Nick has another great line where he's pretty much ready to forgive Evan right away. He's even like, oh no, we're not even that mad anymore. And then all the other kids glare at him, and he goes, oh wait, no, we're still mad. You can get bent, Evan.
Yeah, get bent. Let's bring that back, Nick. Yeah. That is excellent. I'm gonna start telling you to get bent whenever I don't want to do something.
Okay. Yeah, we should definitely bring that back. It's a great.
Hey Heath, let's record. Get bent. Let's do it tomorrow. And like Lauren is getting very savage. I love that too. Like she's really starting to dig in. And so Alex sees all this tension. She feels it building. She feels the anger. And they're 12-year-olds. They don't know how to express themselves. And so she decides players only meeting, which to me seems like a total disaster. Because I don't know about you, but like when I was 12, me and my friends would like take turns hitting each other in the arm to see like how far we could go until it hurt. And like you're gonna throw those types of kids in a room together and honestly, are super pissed at each other to figure it out.
Honestly,
it seems dangerous.
It's a classic coach move though. It's players only meeting, because it's with 12-year-olds it's a little iffy, but it's the best way to get over these things. And it was working until she cut it early.
Listen, I trust LeBron in a players only meeting. I don't trust Evan.
I definitely don't trust LeBron.
Not a good leader.
Only meeting.
Well, he's going to leak something on Twitter afterwards.
LeBron himself is not. He's not even a player only. He's like the coach and the GM. I don't trust LeBron.
Well, it's not him.
I do trust. I trust Nick.
Yeah. Nick the Stick will never let you down. LeBron's people will leak something if you're being trash. Just don't be a trash player.
The players only meeting, that's a classic. It's a classic move. It's a good way to to squash these kind of things. It's a great callback to Coach T's other show, Letterkenny. A lot of player-only meetings in that show, and they work. They're fantastic.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. That when the Pheasants weren't playing well, they hit all the players-only meetings they could.
Yes, and the best. Well, so the best part of the Letterkenny player-only meetings is the coach would always like randomly like come in the middle of it, and they'd be like, "Coach, players-only meeting," and then he'd be like, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
let me get out of here. I don't want to interrupt it."
Yeah. Which is exactly what Alex did, because it was working. They were communicating, granted in a very hostile tone, but it was everybody was venting. They were getting it out. They were airing their grievances. It was starting to turn to work. And even Bombay was like, "This is like your coaching instinct is spot on. Don't stop it. Let them fight to the death, and then they'll move on." You know,
death match definitely got into her head when he said that. But yeah.
So but it was working, and she cut it off early. Her walking in and stopping it is why that didn't work, not because it wasn't going to work.
I do have to say, though, it shouldn't have been needed, because Evan had the most weak-ass apology that he just kept doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on, which was, guys, it was only one practice. You shouldn't be mad. Mm-hmm. You should be getting over it. You know what that does? That pisses people off more when you tell, like, hey, Brandon, I know you're really pissed at this, but you shouldn't be. Like, oh, cool, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I'm actually not pissed anymore. I'd be like, hey, you know what you should do? You should fuck off, because I'm mad. Don't tell me I shouldn't be mad.
Yeah, get back. But,
it's like, we have to come together to win the next next game. I also love when Bombay comes in and he's like, hey, where the hell is everyone? I did stuff. Like, I've set up phones. Yeah. I had practice.
I got off my couch for the first time in 6 years.
Where's the communication? Like, do you not see my love for you right now?
Yeah. But yeah, Evan constantly going around and invalidating everybody's feelings was not a good way to kind of brush it over. And he kept using the phrase, "It wasn't about you guys. It was about me. It's not you. It's me."
Like everyone that's been dumped and gets that line used on them, you know it's you. Yeah. Like it's definitely you. It's because they don't like you anymore. Like, you are the issue. So it's a great cover up, but it doesn't work. Everyone sees just, right through it. But like Alex does, you also can't blame her, because the Don't Bothers are not necessarily known for their social skills. There's some socially awkward folks, and so throwing them in to communicate openly is a very dangerous game.
Yeah, it's dangerous, but I mean, it was working. It was working until she freaked out and got all worried, paranoid again.
Did you love Nick trying to act angry during this episode?
Yeah, he kept trying to act angry, and then immediately was like, "No, it's not believable, is it?
What a sweet kid." We love Nick. He is the absolute best. I love Maya throwing out Evan like, "Hey, this is about loyalty."
Yep.
Just not liking it. Also, we predicted this. One of the episodes we talked about Logan getting pissed about being left out of the sleepover, and
yes,
it came back. It came back to haunt them.
It did.
Because he invite lives across the street. He saw it go down.
He can see you. He can see you. He even says that he saw you through the kitchen window.
Yeah, eating every Swedish fish was like a dagger to his heart. The kid loves Swedish fish. I don't get it. I mean, they're good, but there's a lot better candy options out there than Swedish fish.
They're the worst. They're
good, but there's nothing great about them. It's not worth a dagger to the heart. Now, if they had maybe some everlasting gobstoppers.
I don't think it was the Swedish fish in particular. So what the Swedish fish represented, Heath.
Every candy that he could have been sharing with them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they didn't even think to invite him. And then Nick trying to save his ass ends up alienating Coob.
Yeah.
Because he says Coob wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. He was a pity invite.
To save his own ass and to make Logan feel better, he isolates Coob. Not a great move by Nick. Just really flexing that social awkwardness, because Coob was an impromptu invite.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a best friends hang. Just best friends.
Yeah. And poor Coob's like, hey, I don't even know what a hangout is like. And all of a sudden you're doing a best friend one and it's a pity invite. That's rough. That's rough on a poor kid that never leaves his face.
There's another great line that Logan had when he's fighting with Nick over that is, I think he asks, there's a lot of, it was in the middle of like everybody's argument, so I'm not I didn't hear exactly what he said. Again, I got to turn the subtitles on. But,
you got to hit the subtitles because I know exactly what he said.
But so Evan Logan is essentially like, have you even played hockey before, Nick? And Nick goes, yeah, I have. You'd know that if you listen to my podcast.
I have over 400 episodes.
Well, that's Logan said. That's what Logan says. Logan's like, you have 400 episodes. Where would I even start?
I have a lot to say, obviously. 400 episodes. That means that Nick just sits and talks to himself in a recorder constantly. Well, you got to feel for the kid.
Him and Mary Jo.
That's true.
Yeah.
I forget that he had the partner in crime.
Yeah, they're the number 2 Southeast Minnesota youth hockey podcast. You know, that's a lot of content, Heath, to cover the entire southeastern portion of Minnesota.
Also in there, and once again, the subtitles came in clutch because I got a gem from Lauren to Maya. At least I have a sleep schedule. That was what they were. I don't know. They were arguing, and it just had a line from Lauren yelling about having a sleep schedule, which, once again, Lauren, I get it. If I don't get my 8 hours of sleep, I am a disaster the next day. Like, I'm angry. I don't want to talk to anyone. I might just randomly break something. I might go chat and punch a hole in the wall. Who knows? But I thought that I was like, wow, subtitles strike again. What a great line.
Yeah.
And I found the line that you were looking for from Lauren earlier. Alex is like, "Hey guys, let's make some friendship bracelets." And she was
that's what it is.
The bracelets will be woven of lies.
Yep, that's what it is.
And she's not wrong.
No,
listen,
definitely not.
Let's reach out to our friendship bracelet connoisseurs, the fans of the podcast. But when you make a friendship bracelet, you want every strand to represent the bond of friendship, and it's just not going to happen when you fake it with these fake ass ones.
Yeah. In the midst of an argument is not the time to weave a friendship bracelet.
No, it is. There's going to be a lot of unnecessary tension. The bracelet might be tighter than what you want it to be.
It's going to be a lot of bad juju within those beads there.
Yeah, that's and Lauren, knowing a lot about magic and that kind of stuff, she's going to understand that you got to have positive vibes in the friendship bracelet.
Exactly. Otherwise, it ends up cursed. Yeah.
That's
how you end up with like possessed dolls and stuff. Is when you build stuff out of lies.
And so then in the middle of all this greatness, the lights just completely cut out. And I love that the team starts to blame Evan, and him and his mom are like, okay, this obviously is not my fault. And I don't remember who said it, but someone was like, yeah, it's at least 75% your fault.
I forget who said the 75% line, but Logan's the one who points it out first. Like right when the lights go out, he's like, damn it, Evan. What did you do this time, or something like that?
Yeah, way to go, Evan.
Way to go, Evan.
and Bombay is trying to get the thing fixed. He's trying to go. The ice is going to turn into a puddle, and all of a sudden, it's time to cancel practice. No dice, and then Bombay comes out. Well, I think we can go to this secret spot I know, and here comes the title.
I know a place.
He knows the place.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen this place. There's a lot more trees around it this time.
I don't think it's the exact same location, but
okay.
This
is a different secret location. Because I was going to say the one that we saw in the movie when he was growing up, it was very open space around it.
Yes.
Not a lot of trees. Not like this, where they came out of the forest.
This one was more enclosed for sure.
Yeah.
But he takes them to a pond that I'm assuming. No, it wouldn't have been, but the pond that he played on as a kid with his dad, where he learned to play hockey.
Nature's ice palace is what he calls it.
Yep. Some pond hockey.
Maya has a great line. She's looking some ODR. Maya's looking for the Wi-Fi in the Cocoa Bar. She's not pissed. I love that all the kids are like complaining about the hike they're like, geez, how far have we walked? Is it 5 minutes or 5 miles? That was Nick's line. So they're already tired before practice. They're pissed about this hike.
Yeah. Because
he calls it shinny. I thought that was a fun name for pickup hockey.
Oh yeah. There's all kinds of shinny pickup. There's all kinds of weird slang for pond hockey.
Yeah, and so they're going to work on their instincts. That's Bombay's goal. We got to work on our instincts. We're going to show it, and then they show like a quick little montage of people practicing. And I just had to point this out.
You missed. You skipped over
play tag.
They play tag.
Yeah, Evan's it.
Because he wants them to get on the ice without their skates. He wants them to feel the ice underneath their feet. And
get loose.
Yes, and so they all get on the ice. And, of course, you have Alex freaking out, like Charlie's mom in the first one, where she's like, it's going to break. We can't be doing this. And then she just – they tell her to leave, and she goes, okay, I'll just be in the car with my thermos. And she fucking leaves.
Yeah, and Nick is loving the beauty that's surrounding them. I love that option, too, when Nick came in. But, yeah, so they're playing tech. They're getting a feel for the ice.
Yes, running around.
They had some fun, running around like crazy. Sam is still sad though. Like he's just sitting on the ice.
Yep, looking at his phone, not participating, not talking,
looking super depressed.
Nobody is even trying to address him. Even Bombay doesn't even say anything.
They're just playing tag around.
Just lets him sit. Yeah.
They just let him sit and pout. I did have to point out when they were doing like some of the practice drills, like when they were doing the skating race, Logan just did the flag. He was the starter, and Koob was standing in the goal.
Yes.
And then when they did the other practice montage, both Koob and Logan, the two individuals who should probably be getting the most work, we're getting none. We're getting none. Now we see eventually Koob does get some work.
We're 7 episodes in, and we have not taught these kids how to skate.
Unreal. Just negligent coaching, which is shocking now that Bombay's more involved. But we're starting to see.
This is Bombay's first actual coaching endeavor with the team, and he takes special attention with Koob. He tries to tackle the Koob issue, which is thank God. Thank God.
What did you think about fun little Easter egg? They used eggs the first time, but they modernized it and they used the phones. But all I could think of when they were doing the soft hands with the phones, like I didn't see any like super crazy phone cases by any means. Like the water damage is going to ruin all of those phones instantly. What were they thinking?
Yeah, I noticed that too. I figured they had cases on.
Like a LifeLock case? Because like
maybe something like that.
If you don't have a LifeLock, even some of your OtterBox cases can let some moisture through. That happened to me once because I when I was working for the city, I sweat through my jeans and I got some water damage on the phone. I'm a disgusting animal. But yeah, so I just got to be honest. It's not a big deal, but it did bother me.
I did like the phone.
I was worried about the phone.
I liked the phone pass though.
It was great.
I thought it was good.
I loved it.
It was a good callback to the
Evan being on Nick's home screen.
That was the best part. Was the lock screen. You see Nick's lock screen is just a single like selfie photo of Evan. Nick's not even in it. It's just Evan. And then Evan sees that and like freaks out for a second. He goes, why am I on your lock screen?
I also love Logan and Nick are shooting it back and forth. And Logan's like, hey, Nick, your moms are calling. Should I pick up? And Nick's like, only if you want a pleasant and encouraging conversation. And so I think we have to shout out Nick's moms again, who just seem like the most delightful and best parents out of the whole show. Like obviously the best parents in the show.
I gotta get them on an episode of Parenting Corner with Brandon. Gotta dissect their brain a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And like figure out like, hey, we may one day bring future spawn into the world. What are some parenting tips for two idiots? But I loved when he said that. But it did take me a minute to get over the water damage of the phones. But so still no high five after practice though. And we get to a very crucial scene where Evan rips the C off his jersey, good riddance. Hadn't deserved it up to this point. Not a lot of leadership. So that's what the team needed. They didn't need your shitty apology saying it was only one practice.
Yeah, and he ripped it off like it was Velcro, which threw me for a loop. And the sound effect was even like a Velcro sound effect. That's not.
I was going to ask. Those are sewn on.
Well, right? they're either sewn on or they're heat pressed on, depending on your budget.
But it's definitely not Velcro on. It would fall off in the middle of the game.
Yeah, yeah. You can't just rip it. You can't just rip it off. I mean, theoretically, with a heat press, if you could rip it off, but it wouldn't be nice and clean like he did it. You'd have to like work at it a bit, But definitely not Velcro. Threw me for a loop.
I wanted them to put the C on Nick's chest, but like Sophie said,
so Nick isn't wearing the C, but he's still a captain.
Yeah, everyone's a captain.
Yes.
Everyone's a captain.
Wait till his mom's hear about this.
Oh, they're gonna be so pumped. And you know what? The pond hockey, it was that spoonful of sugar that helped the medicine go down, and now we're in much better spirits.
Yes, it was a nice
reset.
It was a nice reset. You got everybody out of the locker room, out of the ice rink. You get a fresh perspective.
And then we do a quick cut. We're at Twin City Slices again. We're celebrating. We're laughing together. We're bonding. We have the fun story about Nick being scared of a bunny. Did you catch that one?
Yep.
Nick got scared of a bunny. And, the first thing I thought of was like, obviously it's a little bit dated, but these kids haven't watched the Holy Grail because bunnies can be murderous at times.
Yeah.
These kids.
Well, and you got the Holy Grail whole thing, but also you see a bunny running. What's the bunny running from? That's the scary part. You don't know.
Yeah.
Could be a coyote. Alex said she saw a bear earlier. It could be the bear coming.
If Alex saw a bear and you see a bunny running, Nick's concern is something that should be followed by the rest of the team.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And how they say don't run from a bear? Because they're super quick and they would be able to catch you. Do you think you could if you were on ice skates, do you think Nick could outrun a bear ice skating?
The issue is that eventually you'd hit the end of the pond. So you'd have to do some form of like quick pivot movement to make sure that you're not getting like a swipe from the bear. Cause we saw, I feel like we saw earlier.
I'm picturing like a perfect scenario where you're on like a massive lake and you've got runway for days.
Okay.
Because how fast can a bear run? Because NHL players skate. When they're skating, they can hit like 25 miles an hour. That's usually like, I think 25, 26, 27 is like top speeds.
A polar bear can run 25. A grizzly bear can run 35. So
so you're not making that.
If this is looking straight grizzly, it's about to get grizzly because you're going to get eaten by that big ass bear.
Yeah.
You're not out skating. Not Nick.
What are you doing that? Do you
That's when it's mountain lions where you get big, bears where you go fetal.
I honestly don't know. I think bears you can go big too. I don't know. It's been a while since I was a Boy Scouts. I don't remember.
Listen, you pee a little bit and you die.
I do know for sure if you see a bear and the bear doesn't see you, you need to make sure the bear sees you. You got to be because you don't want to. Last thing you want is for you to sneak up on the bear because that's when it'll freak out and just charge. If you're a safe distance away and you see the bear, you make noise. You let them know you're there. You give them time to prepare for your essence.
Some like whoop.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, old bear. But the thing with the slices is that we see some conflict building between Evan and Sophie because while the team is engaged, Sophie's not ready. She's not ready to forgive. She's doing her homework. She's got some Latin homework.
So yeah, she's taking Latin. She knows Latin. Sophie has forgiven him in a hockey sense, but as in a friend sense, she's still upset because she figured She says to him, she says, I thought we were closer than this. I thought you would have been able to talk this through with me. Like I talked my duck situation through with you, instead of just bailing.
I think that Sophie also needs to realize that 12-year-old boys do not have that kind of emotional depth to go into that kind of conversation with you. Like Evan didn't know. He was just making impulsive decisions because that's what being 11, 12, and 13 is for a boy. You just do stuff and then you learn the consequences so you don't do it later in life.
Yeah. Well, you got to learn sometime, Heath, Yeah. You can't, and you can't just let Evan get away scot-free without any consequences.
Listen, she deserves to be pissed. That was that was the shittiest thing to do. It's like you spent all this time convincing her to do it, and then you take her spot on the Ducks. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, that's how friendships end.
What I kind of wish he would have done that. I kind of wish that would have been his plan, like from the beginning, to have her quit.
Evan was the actual bad guy.
Yeah, like he masterminded this whole situation just to take her spot on the Ducks.
Like that's like a very Frozen move where you think Anna's bow is gonna just sweep her off her feet, and it's like, oh my god, he's the bad guy.
Yeah,
all along.
What a fucking twist. Yeah.
They could have M. Night Shyamalan super hard with the Evan twist that this was his diabolical plan, and his mom was unaware, and she just bought that shit hook, line, and sinker. Yeah. Oh, how diabolical! I love that. That's a much better storyline.
Yeah. They need to get us on. We need some writing credits on season 2. We gotta, because between that and then Winnie being Han and Jan, they're like descendants,
their niece,
or great granddaughter or granddaughter or whatever.
Yeah,
we got to get in on season 2. We need some writing credits.
And like the advice guru, like she should be Wilson from Home Improvement. Exactly. Behind the snack stand. It's right there for you, Disney. God damn it.
This isn't that hard.
You're fucking smart. Jeez. I shouldn't say that. I am so sorry, Disney. Do not firebomb my family's house. I just don't know how much they control.
That's true. No, nobody does. I don't even think they do.
But I also, as they close out that sequence, though, I love that Sophie, he's like, you're studying Latin? How do you say I'm a stupid jerk in Latin? And Sophie does not miss a beat. She's just like, boom, you're a stupid jerk in Latin. And then we end scene, just mic drop by Sophie. Well-deserved mic drop.
Then Evan looks around and is like, I can't believe she actually knew it.
Yeah, she's Sophie, very underrated. Not only a premier hockey star, but the academia going there as well. She's future academic All-American at a prestigious high school.
She's doing parent coffees. She's learning Latin. She's got it all down.
And actually, the first episode we roasted that none of these kids were going anywhere, but Sophie actually has a legitimate chance if she can keep that sharpshooter shot going and the speed.
Yes. Well, you get from her parents have the right idea essentially to where she's using hockey as a springboard for other endeavors. She's using it as a tool to get into college because she's super smart, and then she'll, whatever she. Did they mention? They talk about her brother being. They don't mention they don't have a plan for her.
Major.
And they don't have a plan for her, right? I don't think they have a legit. At least they haven't mentioned it. I'm sure they do, but.
Yeah, there's some kind of plan. I'm sure it's gonna.
Whatever she chooses to major in, though, she's gonna crush it.
And since it's a TV show, she'll be a doctor, right? That's an easy one. She's really smart. She'll be a doctor.
That's fair. Well, because they want her to go to Harvard. Yeah, Harvard Med. I don't even know if they have a med. Do they have a med school? I assume so.
Do you think I know anything about Harvard?
I know. I do. And I do know they have a law school. Legally Blonde taught me that.
And listen, if you are not learning your law from Legally Blonde, then what are you even doing? She's just out there empowering her fellow sisters to be cute and to practice law. You can do both.
She wins the case.
Do both, Brandon.
She wins the case at the end.
Yeah, I mean it's heroic. Yeah. It's delightful.
Yeah, kills it.
Not a bad movie. I'm not arguing the movie. I surprisingly am okay with it.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. It's so fantastic.
One of your favorite movies. We won't get into why that should not be your favorite movie, but come on.
I didn't say it was my favorite movie. I said it was one of my favorite movies. And that's not top 5. I say one of my favorite movies. That's like a list of like 30.
Okay.
I'm a big film guy, Heath. Big film guy.
You're a big film. See, if we started going into mine, like I love terrible, cheesy movies. So so anything that The Rock does, anything, and like literally anything, and some of his deep stuff. Like if anyone wants to come over and argue with me about why The Tooth Fairy is a bad movie, I will do it, because that shit is a cinematic classic starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Tooth Fairy is good. I like what's the one?
This is before he became just this.
That's when he was still like his original wrestler physique. Yeah. Which I mean, still jacked, but not as
bodybuilder physique.
Yeah, not as girthy.
Yeah.
Now you got me on a Rock tangent. Now I'm ready to go. What's the one he does with Johnny Knoxville? Is that Walking Tall?
Oh, which I didn't know was a remake. I think it's a remake.
It's like an old
in the 60s or something.
It's like an old Western or something like that, I think.
Another excellent one when he beats the shit out of everyone with the 2x4. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Like, listen, if you hate movies, you still have to appreciate The Rock going into a casino and beating the shit out of a whole bunch of gangsters. Like, come on. Yeah. That was awesome. Everything about that movie was awesome. And then Johnny Knoxville brought the comedic relief, because this is before, The Rock really had his acting chops. Walking Tall, The Rundown with Stifler. That's also a very underrated Rock movie. I love some of that. Sean William Scott or whatever his name is. Not
Sean
Stifler.
William Scott.
Well, he'll forever be Stifler for us. But
just like Coach T is always going to be Riley and Jonesy. They're never going to get away from that.
And that's okay. They just, as long as they lean into it, they can just live off of that forever.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, don't get me started on The Rock. Like, he has now progressed into just an amazing actor. Now you can say The Rock is your favorite actor and people aren't going to laugh at you. But then I go back on Peacock and I start watching, WrestleMania, Rock versus Stone Cold, and that's where you fall in love with The Rock, jabroni.
Yeah. That's good. I love the Nation of Domination Rock. That's where he kind of blossoms.
Oh, absolutely. The storyline when The Rock usurps Farouk in leadership from the Nation of Domination, that's when he really starts to hit his gimmick and starts throwing down the jabronis if you smell what he's cooking. Hey, Brandon, what do you think about the Mighty Ducks? It doesn't matter what you think about the Mighty Ducks, jabroni. That's prime Rock right there.
The spot on impression. Spot on.
I love the WWF. That's one of my, I don't even know if it's a guilty pleasure anymore, because I don't even try to hide it. It's just, it's great. I haven't watched any of the new stuff since I went to WrestleMania in 2011. But man, I have watched WCW and WWF pay-per-views from 88 to 2000 constantly.
Yeah. I was super big into wrestling, late elementary, early middle school, and then I kind of fell off. Probably that would have been 2005, 2006 ish is kind of when I fell off. So I haven't really seen any of the new stuff since then. But before that, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Rock versus John Cena Part 2 at WrestleMania in New York City. It was just the best.
Yeah.
John Cena won. Spoiler alert.
How dare you, Heath? How dare you?
It happened 10 years ago now. So
that should everybody should just assume that anyway. John Cena always wins.
Well, and that was Rock had taken. That was, he was like, okay, I came back to the WWE for 2 years. Now I'm gonna progress back into my acting career and
passing the torch.
Yeah, exactly. Fast and the Furious movies we're starting to throw down. Don't
even get me started on Fast and the Furious movies. Those are. Every single one of those movies is in my top 30 for sure.
I'm not going to argue with you on that.
Especially the new Hobbs and Shaw with The Rock and The Rock and Jason Statham, the spin-off movie they did. Amazing. Highly recommend it. It's on HBO if anybody wants to watch it. It's fan-fucking-tastic. Idris Elba plays the villain, nails it.
Okay, so I love the movie. I thought it was hilarious that all of a sudden they now have superheroes in this movie. But
let me remind So in the spin-off movie, Idris Elba is a cyborg who has been, genetically enhanced with technology. Let me remind you, in the very first Fast and Furious movie, Paul Walker was an undercover cop trying to figure out which gang was illegally selling DVD players. That's the premise of the first movie, and now they're superheroes.
Yeah,
and they saved the world.
Was excellent.
The new trailer, they're on a fucking spaceship. I think they're going to space in the Fast 9, which has John Cena in it. John Cena's in the newest one.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So I will be there because you know who loves the Fast and the Furious
that's
more than anyone? None other than Big Mike, father of the podcaster.
Nice.
Just loves. So I've seen those movies.
They're fantastic. That's Fast 9 is the first movie I'm going to see back in theaters. I mean, you've been to Big Mike's basement. Yeah.
Play some pool, throw on the Fast and Furious Blu-rays in the background. I think we did watch them.
I think we did watch a couple Fast and Furious movies.
When he came back for Chicken Days.
Yeah.
All right, anyways, let's circle all the way back because don't get me wrong, I love some rock tangent. We will bring back some rock tangents wherever we can add them into the podcast.
Sure, this was way too long of a tangent.
This one a little bit too long. We'll cut maybe a little bit out of this. Yeah. But anyways, we'll leave it to producer Brandon.
Yeah. One thing I have in my notes that I want to talk about that was a little bit farther back when Bombay's kind of like messing with the power to try to get it back on.
Oh, yeah.
Alex has a line where she goes, she's talking about how crazy it is that the power is out. Like, what a shitty place this Ice Palace is. And Bombay's like, no, it's fine. And she goes, no, it's not fine. One of your emergency exits leads to a brick wall.
Yes. I am so glad you circled back. Like, post-tangent, circle back to hit that because that was a great line.
Yes.
The emergency exit goes out to a brick wall. Do you think there was any other, like, was it just like a brick wall into an alley? Was there some sort of exit, or like the exit was legitimately just into a wall?
I think it's like just a door frame and door they put onto a wall. So when you open the door, there's just the wall right there.
I love it. That's probably contributing to the fact that it is beyond distance. It has required repairs from the state.
Yeah, almost condemned. Yeah.
So anyway, I love everything about that. So post Sophie getting pissed, insulting Evan in Latin, we get round 2 of pond hockey, and this is where we really start to see some stuff happening because there's some intermixing, right? It's pond hockey, then we move to Alex at work, but first at the pond hockey, they're saying, hey, Alex and Sam are no shows. Sophie's kind of like putting some padding on her knee. She's got a bum knee,
icing it,
and then finally Bombay is shooting some pucks at Coob, and he's just shooting them at his legs. And he's like, Coob, what the fuck? Move your feet.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, move your feet, dude.
Yeah. He's like, your hands are great, but you literally don't move your feet at all. If anybody figures that out, which, newsflash, Bombay, they figured it out. He's let like 17 goals go by in each game. People know.
39 goals in the first 2 games, Bombay. Like, well, you were there, dude. Come on.
Yeah. But so then he finally is, and Coob has the lame excuse where he's like, my feet just won't move. I can't do it.
Yeah. It's mental. It's all mental. It's a mental block. It's like a field goal kicker that all of a sudden gets the yips and can't move it through. So his mental block is preventing his feet from moving quickly. Believable.
Absolutely. So then Bombay is trying to get him to like move his feet a little bit. So he has him skate back and forth a little bit, and then his bright fucking idea. Good old Coach Bombay, always with the good stuff here. His bright idea to get Coob to move his feet is he lies to him and tells him the ice is breaking.
Oh, the ice is breaking underneath you.
Yeah.
Believable.
Yeah. So Coob freaks out and sprints. Again, he's not skating when he does this. He just runs.
Taking like big, I noticed that this episode where he's just like taking these big, massive strides. He's not sliding along the ice. No. He's like stabbing the ice with his skates and sprinting forward.
Yes, but that unlocks, that breaks his yips. So now he realizes he can move his feet. It's possible.
He is now Coob Patrick Waugh Kubler.
Coob point oh.
Coob point oh. Yes. How did Jesus, Disney, get us on the writing team? That was fucking brilliant. Coob point oh.
Yeah.
And no one said it in the episode.
No.
Wow. No. That's a real missed opportunity. We'll send our business card.
Yeah. Well, we won't need to. The Disney execs, I'm sure, are listening. They're going to be glued to their phone. I was going to say glued to their TV, but this is a podcast. Glued to their phone.
I was hoping either them or the Ringer podcast group, because I love the Ringer. Don't get me wrong, but they are turning into like Netflix, where you can get a podcast just about going any which way on the Ringer. So let's hope for that.
We'll accept any offers as well. If you
two of my heroes,
if you
Ryan
have
Russillo and Bill Simmons.
Oh, I have mixed feelings about Bill Simmons. I don't know if we could. I don't know if I could work with Bill Simmons.
He's a Boston homer. We wouldn't be working with those guys. You know who we'd be working with? Who is the unwritten MVP? It'd be Nephew Kyle. Who is the producer, and that's what we need. We need Nephew Kyle.
If we can get producer Kyle to produce the show, I'm all in.
Yeah, because there's a life advice segment at the Ryan Russillo show that is gold, and Nephew Kyle is the fucking backbone of those shows.
Yeah, I like how you refer to him as Nephew Kyle. I call him producer Kyle because I don't listen to the Ringer or any of their stuff. I used to listen. They used to have a college basketball podcast. It was called One Shining Podcast. Now they're with Mark Titus and Tate Frazier. Great podcast.
No. Okay.
They left and they're with like Fox Sports, I think now. Their new podcast is Titus and Tate. But Kyle, when they were at the Ringer, Kyle was their producer, so they were always referred to him as producer Kyle. And so if we can get, I would love to work with producer Kyle. That'd be fantastic. I'm all in.
And like, I just listen to the Bill Simmons podcast so religiously that I'm just always going to know him as Nephew Kyle. I'm just going to call him that. So sorry, Nephew Kyle.
We will, though. We're not just interested in working for the Ringer. We'll work for anybody. Fox Sports, if you want some of this, ESPN, any. If you distribute podcasts, we're listening. Yeah.
I'm not saying we're cheap, but we'll do it for the.
I mean, if somebody can take over the editing process, I would love that. Somebody could take that over for me. I would accept that offer, guaranteed.
Or, you know what, if any listeners out there are, striving to one day produce podcasts, hit us up. Come join us. Join us for a few hours on the weekends and talk Ducks. And you'd sit and listen and do research about the Ducks, but it'd still be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And we're fun, mostly.
Yeah, reach out to us. Our email is thecakeeaterspod@gmail.com. We're very friendly people. Yeah. And I'm a delightful boss.
I rule with an iron fist, so you better make sure you have your fucking shit together. You know what? Maybe I'd be too much like Stephanie, Mr. Boss. No, I'm kidding. I'm too much of a pushover. My guy, you tried hard. It's good enough.
Yeah, fine.
All right.
That's who we need as the producer, though. Is we need Stephanie. Yeah. Stephanie gets shit done.
Listen, Stephanie is exactly who I would want to be in charge of anything. Like I would be okay with Stephanie being my boss.
She's not in this episode at all, is she?
No. Okay. So yes, she is. We can actually. This is a great transition.
Great transition. She gives Alex a pep talk. That's what happens.
Yeah, she gives Alex a pep talk. So we cut to a scene. We have Alex walking from the break room with a microwave burrito, giving her 150% of her daily sodium. I love that because as someone with high cholesterol who ate way too many microwave burritos and fast foods, like you should cut that shit out. It's not good for your heart.
No, definitely not.
But Stephanie is confused. Like, hey, why are you not at practice? Like, what's going on? Oh, but also, I do have to say, what a real shitty move by Stephanie throwing the meeting sushi away instead of letting the rest of the employees sprint like vultures to the break room to feast off the scraps.
Well, that's a thing apparently at this law firm, because that the food at meetings comes up multiple times in the show.
But only certain people are allowed to eat the food, and no one else can. The haves and have-nots.
Only the actual lawyers are allowed to eat the food. You know,
Yeah.
if you're
everyone else is able
if you're
to
an
support
assistant, you gotta wait.
You support them while they eat the food. Maybe give them a napkin.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Alex on at practice, and I love Stephanie, just the ultimate passive aggressive jerk, where she's like, you finally stopped with the team. You know what? I'm glad you've put those kids through enough. God, I love Stephanie's character, the realest character on the show, because she's such an asshole to everyone, because she's a very successful lawyer, and she deserves to be an asshole at work sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, and it's such like the perfect like Midwestern passive aggressive, just asshole, which I love. It reminds me of home. I love it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, like she absolutely kills the Midwestern passive aggressive, because the stuff she says isn't going to hurt Alex in the moment. When she gets home, she's going to remember what Stephanie said about that stuff, and it's just going to hit the core of her. I also
it's like Maya with her 2017 comments. It's like it's not stinging you right away, but it's embedding itself in your head, and then 20 years later you have an emotional breakdown because of it.
You just the next fidget spinner you see, you lose it. Stephanie also has a great line where she's talking about Bombay coaching, and she says, Bombay just has a talent for bringing out the best in the undergifted.
Yes, undergifted is such a great phrase. I'm going to use that so often.
Oh my gosh, like that is a beautiful phrase that we have to use. It's just the PC, now that we're in a very PC world, it's the PC way of saying this person sucks.
Yeah.
Because that's losers. Too harsh. You could hurt feelings.
The undergifted, the losers.
The losers, the have-nots.
Yeah.
The shit on your shoe. But so they're kind of going back and forth, and Stephanie's giving her the pep talk saying like, hey, you need to face your fears. You can't just, let Bombay take over. And as your role model, I love that Stephanie volunteers herself as Alex's role model.
Like, I know you look up to me. And Alex even tries to brush it away. She like shakes her head, and Stephanie doubles down. She's like, no, I know you do. I know you look up to me, and that she keeps this is just when you start to like Stephanie again, because she's such a great asshole. She keeps a piece of a propeller in her office to remind her to run at her fears from when she jumped out of a plane to conquer her fear of heights. Because she's afraid of heights. You know what she did? She ran towards that fear and she jumped out of a plane.
Yeah. As someone who is afraid of heights, like, I don't know if you could, like, maybe for a proper sponsorship for this podcast, I would bungee jump, but I don't know. Like, the only way I'd ever jump out of a plane is if I was attached to someone that was, like, able to do it. And, like, maybe I'd probably, like, I don't know. I don't think I could do it.
I don't
think I could do it.
I would. So I'm not super afraid of heights, but I'm not a fan of them. I would definitely do like a tandem skydive where I'm strapped to like an experienced skydiver and he or she has access to the parachute. I would do that. One thing I will never ever do is bungee jump. That just doesn't look safe at all to me.
Well, that's true. It's like taking fair rides. You kind of do it at your own risk, knowing that rickety piece of shit might fall apart at any second.
Every time I see a bungee like cord, I think they're called cords, right? Just looks like the flimsiest things. They snap. That's a real fucking thing. They snap.
Yeah. And I'm a big guy, but yeah, there was that one girl in like Australia or New Zealand that like fell into like croc infested water as opposed to bungee jump.
Yeah.
So anyways, but like giving the pep talk, Alex decides, hey, I've been too worried about safety of the players. I need to let loose. I've got a brilliant idea.
She swings the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, goes full 180. Let me run to practice and interrupt it. Mm-hmm. Let me go interrupt practice with my genius idea of blindfolding the players and having them play hockey.
Yeah. Which I mean,
they call it feel hockey.
Feel hockey. So I don't hate this.
It's a working title.
I don't hate this. The essence of this idea, but the way they do it and the fact that they do it on the pond. If you're going to do this, you need to do it in the rink where there's boards and stuff.
Boundaries.
And you need to do it in a way that because the way they have so she has them actually, she puts a puck down and she's like, play hockey with a blindfolded. That's not how you start this out. You have to start them out all close together and, kind of like build the communication, like have one person like lead people around or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't hate the idea. Great. It could have worked. Yeah, what she did though was terrible.
So that was such a great point because the execution was trash, but the essence of like, hey team, we could communicate without even seeing each other on the ice because you should be able to feel and anticipate where the next person is going on the ice. Phil Jackson actually used to do something very similar to this where the first like 10, 15 minutes of Bulls practices with like Rodman and Jordan and everybody, he would have everyone sit quietly and they would have to sit and meditate in complete silence for the first 10 minutes of practice. And it would help them like grow closer together. It's the same essence, right?
Yeah. It reminded me of a little bit of Semi-Pro, the Will Ferrell, Woody Harrelson basketball movie. Because towards the end, Woody Harrelson like takes over from Will Ferrell as like the coach or whatever, and he's running
the player coach.
Yeah, he has a play that he's running, and he makes them do it constantly for hours
until they throw up.
Yeah, he calls it the puke play because we're gonna run this play until you throw up. And his reasoning behind that was because we're gonna run it so often that you just automatically know what you're doing. So that way, when you're in the heat of battle and you're super tired, you still know what to do because it's burned into your head.
Yeah,
she could have done something like this with the blindfold, so you start off slow, right? You start off with them just kind of skating and figuring out how to communicate. Then, without the blindfold, you have them run a play, right? And then with the play. Once they get that down without the blindfold, then you put the blindfolds on and have them run the play that way. I think that could work, but that's not what she does. And then the thing they do at the game, how close are we to the game? What's after this?
We're getting close. I do have to say her instructions for them after she put the blindfolds on was for them to see with their hearts.
Yes.
And Nick behind the goalie taking very dangerous swings with his hockey stick and no one said anything.
He's swinging up top. He's like, I think I got it. The
puck do that in the hockey
puck
game?
Is not in the air. Nick.
Just completely disoriented.
And then doesn't
apart very quickly.
There's like a bird noise or like an owl or something, and Nick hears that and he goes, "Oh, I think I heard the puck."
And Alex is like, oh, okay. Maybe this idea should have stayed. It was great in my head, and Bombay was like, yeah, that's where it should have stayed.
Yeah.
Whoa, zinger, Bombay.
Yeah. Well, because when she gets to the practice, she immediately goes, okay, guys, I have this idea. Blindfolds, and then Bombay like drops his stick and skates over, and he's like, no. Let's reel this back.
But so end of practice, we get the news. Sam is quitting the Don't Bothers.
Mm-hmm.
He's retiring as a wild card.
I want to point this out. Sam was not at that practice where they did the blindfolds.
Yep, Sam was missing, and then Alex was missing for the first half.
Yes, but so Sam has no idea about the blindfold nonsense. But so then he ends up texting after the practice. He texts Coob. Or the group chat or whatever, and says, I'm quitting. I'm cleaning out my locker. So Evan, Nick, and Coob rush to the Ice Palace to catch him.
They gotta go save it because they're like, hey man, you would have nailed blindfolded hockey. That was the Sam expertise. He would have led them through that. They needed their wild card. But then
I don't understand that reasoning. I don't get how they would automatically assume he's good at blindfolds.
And this is where we get our Saturday morning moment where Sam's like, hey, I've never been a part of a team. I've never been recruited. No one's ever wanted me for my talents until the Don't Bothers. And then you betrayed that trust, Evan, and that hurts.
I wish they would have gave us more Sam before this, because it's just sad Sam, nothing from Sam, and then all of a sudden he's quitting and we get the heartfelt moment. It was just, we needed more of Sam, you know?
Yeah, we got zero setup other than him crashing into shit at school.
Yeah.
And being thrown around as like the illegal play where he was like a battering man.
Yes. Yeah. There's been terrible character development with Sam. We have to retire the wild card nickname because he's not a wild card. I was a little bit off on that. I was close because I was going for Charlie Day wild card. That's what he seemed like to me. He is not a wild card. He's an X Factor. He's a Joe Rogan X Factor participant. He's doing DMT with Joe Rogan in the parking lot and then skating into shit. Yeah. Well, wait. Joe Rogan's not X Factor. Joe Rogan's Fear Factor.
Fear Factor. Damn it, same difference.
No, it's not the same difference. No, he's the X Factor.
But he does like DMT. He talks about it all the time.
Who's Sam?
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe likes him.
Yeah, Sam. That's it. That was actually one of the newest PSAs. Like, hey, parents, have you heard your kids talking about DMT because they saw it on Joe Rogan? Don't let your kids do DMT.
Yeah. Hopefully Sam's not doing DMT. Although I wouldn't put it past the X Factor. And so Evan calls him that, and Sam fucking lights up.
Yeah.
Because all it took to bring Sam back was a cool nickname.
Yep, that's what he needed. And then what does the X Factor do? He skates his skateboard into the wall. And then he is a new man.
Then he does the Shawn Michaels kick up too. After he does that.
Oh yeah, most excellent. He was geared up for some sweet chin music after that bad boy. So just a skateboard crash, and then now we're hitting the game. Now it's game time.
Okay. Yeah.
We're rocking the game. We've got on the bench. We've got Sophie and Evan, and we finally feel like this is kind of a moment between two young people who just really appreciate spending time together. Mm-hmm. And, Evan's kind of laying it on thick, kind of, talking up Sophie, brings her a compression sleeve, which I've got to be honest, I like to receive gifts the same way Sophie does. Something that's thoughtful, heartfelt, and practical. Something I'm going to use. Don't get me flowers because they're going to die. Just throw that shit away. Just put your money in the trash.
You don't have a green thumb, Heath?
No. We actually did buy a plant for our patio, and that son of a bitch died very fast. Yeah. Now the birds just come and take shit out of it for their nests. It's sad, but I left it up for the birds. Even though the birds aren't real, but we won't get into that.
Your plant's giving back now. Giving back. I have the worst. I have a black thumb. Like any plant I touch dies. I bought two plants like a couple months ago. One of them is like a weird little palm tree thing. So that thing's thriving. It doesn't need me to take care of it at all.
Perfect.
The other one I got, I don't even know what it's called, which probably contributes to my black thumb because I don't do any. As with the podcast, I don't do any research. I wing it.
Listen, if you want research, go get a professional. If you want us to do it, we're just gonna fucking improvise.
Or get us a producer, and then we can do that. But the other plant I have is hanging on by the skin of its teeth. It's on its last leg. It's about dead.
Would you say it's on its last root?
Yeah, or last leaf. Although it still has quite a bit of leaves.
Or it's getting ready to leaf you permanently.
Okay, let's
all right. We'll save the puns for the dad podcast spinoff. Dad podcast with two non-dads.
Yeah.
Let us tell you how this shit's done.
I already got the bod though, so we're halfway there.
That's a step one. So the thing that bothered me, so Evan gives Sophie, crushes the gift. Sophie finally forgives Evan. They're ready to play the Husky. Is it? No, it's not the Huskies. Not the Cardinals again. I don't know. They're playing.
No, they're
playing a team.
What team was it? It was Hornets. The Hornets.
The Hornets. Yes, I was saying all the other teams that they played before, but they're playing the Hornets. But then this is what we've got Alex in the stands because she is just kind of gone off her rocker as a coach lately.
Well, so
Bombay in the stands as well because he's the assistant.
But so Bombay at the end of the last episode, he asks if he can be the assistant coach. And then with this episode, Alex, when she's talking to Stephanie, even mentions it. She's like, now that Bombay is here, I'm kind of taking a step back, especially since I don't know what I'm doing and I'm asking kids to fucking blindfold themselves. She's like, I'm taking a step back. Bombay can handle this. He's got this. Yeah. But apparently her and Bombay never had that conversation because Bombay still thinks he's the assistant. And so, they're both at the start of the game, they're both sitting up in the stands.
And the ref is yelling.
Yeah, he's like, does this team have a coach?
Where's the coach?
Yeah. And then you get a nice little, heartfelt Bombay Alex conversation where Alex is like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know anything about hockey. And Bombay is like, yeah, you don't know anything about hockey, but your like coach instinct is there. You're a good teacher. And he talks about how the reason, I think is it this scene where he's the one who shut the power off originally thing, to give everybody a reset and kind of rethink. And he was like, who I learned that move from? You, Alex. Yeah. I was hoping
she brought him up out of his shell.
Yeah. I was hoping he was going to say something like completely out of left field there. Like, who I learned that from? Coach T.
But no, he's romancing Alex. So now she's in. She's ready to coach. They barely make it to the bench before the referee wants to just like, hey, this team doesn't have a coach. They're done. Get them out of here. Refs over this dramatic bullshit up in the stands. Yeah.
Because you will forfeit without a coach. We learned that from D2.
Yeah, we know. That's a fact.
But apparently you don't need like an actual coach. Anybody can just hop out from the stands and be like, I'm the coach. Because that's what they do in D2 too. D2 as well.
We've seen it time and time again.
The trainer lady it's like, fine, I'll be the coach. Whatever happened to her too? I miss her. What is she doing?
She was their teacher, not their trainer.
I think she was a trainer as well, wasn't she?
Oh, really? She taught them. Because remember...
She for sure taught them.
Yeah.
But I think she was like... Or maybe she was just the teacher.
Listen, we saw her teaching, but we didn't see her taping any ankles. So she was usually just lurking in the background of the locker room.
That's true. What is she up to, though? Do you think she's still around?
I don't know. We'll have to deep dive into her. But so we get that.
We need a cameo from her. That's who can freaking... snap Bombay out of this little, rut he's in.
Yeah, because she did it then. She kept Bombay in check. She was the voice of reason for Bombay.
Or the Iceland girl. Can we get her back too?
Oh, let's get an interview with her too. How did it feel to be, the person who came in between Gordon Bombay and Team USA Junior Hockey?
Yeah,
she might hang up the call. So anyways, on the ice, we start the game. All of a sudden, Patrick Waugh Kubler, which is the name that I've just invented for him, is just shutting it down.
Coob.0. He's killing it.
Coob.0 has completely taken over the game. Yes. Sam is playing loose. X Factor jumps in front of the puck. He's
blocks a shot.
Dude,
takes it right to the chest too. Because he dives. He makes the dumbest shot block move ever. He does head first into it.
Dangerous.
Yeah, you're gonna lose some teeth, buddy.
Yeah, but he takes it right in the sternum. But he's okay because he's the X factor. And then we have the team. They're playing well. They're thinking, hey, if we just run out the clock, we can tie a really good team.
Yes, we can tie. Although they mentioned before. Was it 2 episodes ago? Whenever they last played a game, because I don't think
they have to win out.
Yeah, they got to win 6 straight or 9 straight, or I think it was 9 straight, right? Yeah,
they had to win 9 straight because Evan said that. He's like, hey, if we win 9, and then everyone laughed at
it. Yeah. If you want 9 wins, just keep watching this tape.
Keep watching the same win over and over again. So Alex is like, nope, we're going for the win. Let's make this happen. And this is where they lost me a little bit.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It is the dumbest sequence in a youth sports movie I've ever seen. It makes
the flying
Air Bud athletic scenes look like
whoa.
I didn't mean to hit a nerve with Air Bud
here.
I didn't mean to hit a nerve with
Buddy
Air
didn't
Bud.
do anything to you, okay?
Those were not believable scenes. I would have blocked that fucking dog shot 10 times out of 10 in those games.
He would have bit you. You blocked.
He wouldn't have lasted long on the court if he bit me, Brandon.
There's no
shots.
Show me in the rule book where it says biting's a foul, Heath. Okay.
Hacking on the arm? Shit. If I was going up for a shot and he bit me on the arm, easy foul call.
No. I don't think the ref would have called it. I don't think he would have called it.
Listen, me and Air Bud, no, actually, like whoever the golden retriever is now, I'm sure we had to RIP Air Bud. That was like 20 years ago, wasn't it?
Buddy, yeah. Buddy passed away. I think he passed away shortly after the first movie.
Sad day. But, whoever can do an Air Bud, maybe I can play some one-on-one with them. We can see if that movie has legitimacy. But anyways, this is the dumbest youth sports sequence I've ever seen in my entire life, where they all just close their eyes and the other team's like, oh my God, their eyes are closed. Yeah, what's happening? Let me get out of the goal. Is this legal?
Is it the goalie that skates up to one of the other players and goes, can they do that?
Yeah, like that's it is one of the dumbest things. It makes listen, we've seen a lot of great moments like this. Like, remember in Little Giants when they grab the antacids and they start like foaming out of the mouth, and so the other team panics and then they score a touchdown? That was believable, because if you see someone foaming at the mouth, you're like, I don't want to get rabies.
No,
let me run away.
Something's wrong with this kid. But yeah, these kids just close their eyes and then the other team freaks out. It makes no goddamn sense. It makes all of Bombay's other plays that are just straight garbage look brilliant. Like, this makes Flying V look like the greatest play that's ever happened.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think when it happened while I was watching it, because
during the practice time when everybody's blindfolded, they never once show them actually completing a pass. So then when they do it in the game, it comes out of left field. There was no.
Yeah. All they did.
When did they learn how to do that?
Over each other. That was all they did. And you know what? That play that they completed, they could have had their eyes open the whole damn time, and it would have been the exact same.
If they would have had their eyes open, it would have gone a lot better. It would have been smoother.
Yeah, but maybe it wouldn't have freaked out the other team. It wouldn't have distracted the other team with their eyes closed.
Yeah, well, it did. Yeah, I don't know. But so they not only do they close their eyes, but then the passes that they make are so like the movements they do once their eyes are closed are so slow. Yeah. Like, it takes them 15 seconds to make one pass.
There's no way. Obviously the other team, either they suddenly lost their skates, maybe there's cement over in the other portion of the ice, because they're nowhere to be seen after the faceoff. They just completely vanish.
They stop.
While the other team takes 10 seconds to pass the puck with their eyes closed, and then Maya crushes a little slappy in?
I think it's Lauren. So Evan wins the face-off, or is it Sophie that wins the face-off?
I thought it was Sophie, Evan, Maya, but maybe it's Sophie, Evan, Lauren.
Maya gets the pass, and then she passes it to Lauren, I believe.
Okay.
And then that's what Lauren rips the shot.
But yeah, they could have done all of that with their eyes open. It was a terrible end of game sequence. I hated everything about it. It didn't make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And I think what would have been better, what would have been more satisfying, was some sort of Evan Sophie, back and forth passes, some sort of like teamwork thing where you're like, okay, Sophie's fully over it. These kids are on the same page. I think that would have been more satisfying.
Okay, so I think that is the theme of this episode. So once again, Disney, listen, a nice little breakaway 2-man game. Sophie and Evan skating down the ice. Evan has a clean shot, but he makes the extra pass, sets up Sophie for the game winner. It seals the victory, and then it seals the friendship. Mm-hmm. They're embracing, they're jumping. It's a beautiful moment.
Evan makes the unselfish, the captain-like play,
Exactly. And instead, we got to worry about Alex's blindfold stuff, because I don't understand why she's the main character yet. She's a great side character. Once again, no offense to the actor, but she's a great parent in every show, movie she plays.
I want to point that out because I feel like we definitely badmouth the show quite a bit. I want to make perfectly clear, all of the actors and actresses, everybody in the show is fucking killing it, especially the kids.
Oh, yeah.
The kids are fantastic. I think they're doing a great job, especially Nick, and Sophie's doing fantastic. Lauren and Maya are killing it.
Yeah.
Everybody is doing a great job acting. It's the plot lines and the writing that are, they're leaving a lot to be desired.
Exactly. Thank you for pointing that out, because we would never hate on these badass child actors coming out here and doing, like you said, a very excellent job. But the plot line that they're being forced to act along to did them no favors in certain instances.
Yes, and I mean, again,
this is not the actor's fault. This is Disney's fault. This is the big business fault.
Yes,
because they got too cute.
Yes, and I think it has to do with. I think it has to do with how long, with that it's a TV series instead of just another movie, which. I get why they would do that, but the reasons why you would do that are for like character development and stuff that they're not taking advantage of properly. All of these episodes could have easily been cut, snipped, and condensed into an hour and a half movie.
Yeah,
perfectly fine, and you would not have lost any of the heart of this.
Yeah,
you would have. It's just there's a lot of filler in some of these episodes, and there's a lot of weird jumps that don't transition smoothly.
Exactly. It's a very choppy series that doesn't seem to run smooth when there's so much potential for a very smooth and clean story arc with a lot of great character development, but instead for some reason it feels really forced and like I said, really choppy in how they've executed this.
Yeah. Like I think they have really, the show has really great ideas. It's just like from point A to point B is like it's a great idea. Like the whole series is fantastic, but they get lost because I feel like they were trying to extend it as long as they could to like 10 episodes. It gets lost in the middle where it's kind of like shifting around and not quite it's not as smooth as it could be. And
well, like the whole Evan going back and forth, it's like weird made up drama.
And it all gets resolved in one episode. There's all of these episodes are standalone, in a sense to where like the problem that arises in that episode. I mean, it's very sitcom-y, I guess. All sitcoms kind of do this, but for like a show like this where it's a whole season long, you're going from point A to point B. The little segmented middle trips just seem weird and they're not smoothly transitioned into each other. It's just not to, and I feel like because obviously the writers, no offense to the writers of this show.
Yeah, sorry, we like you guys too, but like, listen, you don't get listeners on a podcast by being nice to everyone all the time. You got to stir up a little controversy.
Yes, there are obvious flaws, and again, there are obvious flaws in the old movies too. So when we talk about those, we'll get into that too. This is not like us,
but we love those old movies.
Yes, and I will say I love this series.
I've totally gotten into it. I started out with really low expectations, and it's not like a series that's I'm gonna watch over and over again. But I'm glad they made it. I've had a lot of fun watching it. It hit the right spot. It hit the itch that I had. Yeah,
and I really enjoy it. There are a lot of obvious flaws with it, though.
Yeah, but they did a really good job modernizing too.
Yes, we would be doing everybody a disservice if we did not point out the obvious flaws.
Yeah, exactly. And so, did you? One thing about this last game is we finally got Sophie hockey action in the episode.
They show a Sophie goal.
Like we got
just one goal though.
Yeah, we got a Sophie goal, but at least we saw like some Sophie impact on the ice because she is their actual X factor.
Yes, and again, that's why I think it would have been so much more satisfying for the end to not be like a blindfold fucking nonsense play, and would have been more Evan, Sophie, coming together.
Exactly. But did you catch the foreshadowing at the end, for the lead in to the description of the next episode? A little bit of foreshadowing where Alex is like, "Don't call me mom, call me coach."
Yeah. I hated that line too. But yeah, she's fully embracing. She's the coach now. She's all in. She's, I guess, she's figured it out, I guess, but not really. She's
figured it out. Feel hockey, not field hockey. Feel hockey.
Feel hockey.
Skate with your hearts.
You got to feel it in here before you can feel it out there, Heath. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to create and distribute a podcast, and it's completely free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone and computer. Anchor will help you distribute your podcast so that it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. Anchor also helps you monetize your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
A quick message from our friends at Broken Forest Collective. Built on a passion for small batch and handcrafted products, Broken Forest provides high-quality casual wear and lifestyle goods that are American-made and built to outlast the fast fashion trends. They also plant a tree in Boulder, Colorado for every product sold. Visit brokenforestco.com and use the code CakeEaters15 for 15% off your order. Episode 7. They played some pond hockey. We resolved the Evan practice drama. We move forward. We're getting some confidence. We see the team has made improvements except for Logan. So far, he's the only. He can't skate. He can't do anything.
We finally taught Coob how to play goalie. Now we just need to teach Logan how to skate.
I think that was the biggest thing. Is that like Coob? We've been complaining about it for 6 episodes. Coob didn't move his damn feet. Do you think they did that on purpose? Do you think they wanted to just piss us off for 7 episodes of this kid not moving his feet so that they could fix it? Because I feel like they waited too long to fix his damn feet, but they needed Bombay to do it. So it's a complicated web we weave there.
Yeah, I mean, well, that just goes to them just dragging out the Bombay thing. Too long. Like, will he, won't he, kind of, they drug that out too long. And so because of that, you get pretty much all the way through the fucking season, we still have 2 kids that can't skate. Teaching Coop how to play goalie should have been no later than episode 3. No later than episode 3. Teaching Logan how to skate should have been episode 2.
Exactly. Like, why is Coop just learning how to move his feet in goalie 7 episodes in and a couple wins in? How are they winning?
Yeah.
Like, everyone is going top shelf against Coop. It makes no damn sense.
Yeah. Again, it's a miracle that they didn't give up. He didn't give up more goals. Like, the fact that the Ducks only scored 17.
Yeah.
They beat the Hawks somehow.
Yeah, the Hawks only scored 4.
Yeah. And then Evan scored 5 goals all by himself. Fucking ridiculous.
Just shows you how far the Ducks have fallen, or the Hawks have fallen.
Yeah.
With that. Not only scoring 4 goals against a goalie that can't move his feet.
Ridiculous.
You hate to see it. So that was pond hockey. We got the team back. They're better at skating. What's next? What do we got for episode 8? I'm hoping it picks up a little bit, because this episode was okay, but it didn't do a lot. But we did see some more like kids, a little bit more kids storyline. But I don't know. The Sam storyline was kind of weird. Then it was
glossed over. Yeah, we've been clamoring for less Alex Bombay and more kids. They gave it to us this episode, but they glossed over the Sam thing. I would have loved more, specifically Sam, that because he goes from just being sad to almost leaving. I would have liked a little more in between there.
Yeah.
I like the Sophie Evans stuff. I think that's good. As we get into episode 8, though, the little sneak peek says, where is it? There it is. So with the state, with the state tournament on the horizon, Alex realizes she likes winning more than she thought. So now that Coob knows how to play goalie, I'm assuming the wins are just going to keep pouring in.
Yeah, piling up. Sharpshooter. So they said team first, goalie.
And so a couple episodes they mentioned they had to win 9 in a row. This is at least 2 in a row. I don't think they played. I don't know if they they might have just not showed us a game or 2 in between.
They do that.
Yeah, they skip ahead weirdly. But so we're on a winning streak. I'm assuming we have 8, maybe less games that we need to win in a row for episode 8. Either this episode or episode 9, we're going to have to get like a crazy montage of all of those games. Or maybe they just say fuck it and skip ahead and just tell us that they won all of them and don't do a montage. And then Alex likes winning more than she thought. She's probably going to get like a huge big head here coming up. Yeah. She's going to start especially with Sophie's parents being on the team moms now. I imagine that'll rub off a little on her. She's gonna start, hiring college counselors and trying to get Evan into Harvard. We're gonna get a lot of wins. I assume it's gonna be like a montage thing where they're at the beginning of the episode, they're gonna be like, we have so and so games that we need to win, and then the next like 10 minutes it's just gonna be montage of all of those games and them winning,
Yeah. We're gonna see like,
do you think we
Evan
get Evan
and Alex correlation where Evan almost jumped ship because he wanted to win?
So I know because they keep talking about states. Obviously they're gonna make it to states.
Yeah, we talked about this. Like somehow, like was it last episode or the episode before? We're like, okay, they're probably going to go on a win streak, and it's going to come down to the wire, and they're going to
it's going to be the last game,
and like,
so my
is going to take back over something crazy.
So my question is, we know they're going to make states. Obviously, they're going to make states.
Yeah.
And then I imagine they're for sure going to play the Ducks in states. That's a no-brainer. That's obvious. Yeah. Maybe in the championship, I don't know. But my question is, do you think they play the Ducks one more time in the regular season? Like, do we get another Ducks game before states?
I don't know.
Because I don't know how they haven't been descriptive on their schedule. I don't know if it's one game against each team or if it's 2 games against each team.
Yeah, because generally it's like a round robin where each like a home and home.
Yes, yeah, 2 games. Yeah. I would
love. That's how it usually is in conference.
I would love a second peek at the Ducks in the regular season,
just to see where they stack up.
Yes.
Might bring them back down to earth a little bit because like they've gotten really good in the last couple weeks.
But they said, it would have to be. They'd have to beat the Ducks though if they play the Ducks because they mentioned they need to win the rest of the games, next 9. To make it to state. So if they do play the Ducks, they'd have to beat the Ducks, which I don't know if I'm a fan of that happening right away.
That's not, so there's no way they're going to have them play the Ducks again in the regular season.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got to wait till states. But yeah, so episode 8, we're going to most likely going to get the win streak here. And then we only got 2 episodes left.
And so we're about to bring the drama here. Like the 8, 9, 10, this is where business should pick up.
Yes, exactly. And Do they merge with the Ducks? I just don't see that happening in 2 episodes or 3 episodes.
Something is gonna they're obviously gonna play the Ducks at state, whether it's in the first round, the semifinals. I personally don't think they'll make it to the finals. It just doesn't, like, I know this is a Disney show for kids and everything, but that just feels like a bit of a stretch.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win the whole thing, which that seems like just a huge stretch that they're actually gonna win, but they will. They're gonna win.
And then do you think it cements Bombay as the Minnesota Miracle Man?
Oh yeah. Well, no, because he's the assistant coach. He's not the head coach.
Oh, that's right.
If he was the head coach, then yeah, him bringing the Don't Bother Us to a Minnesota State championship.
You're right.
He would for sure be the Miracle Man.
Alex in this show.
Yeah.
To be the official coach. So no, yeah, that's I don't know. This is going to be We got 3 episodes left. It's going to bring the drama. We're probably going to see the Don't Bothers versus the Ducks in the championship.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully if that does happen, we get some epic Stephanie and Coach T trash talk, because Stephanie and Coach T are at their best when they're talking shit to people. And I need more of that, especially when the stakes are so high at stake. Like I need Coach T, I need Stephanie, I need them, you know, chirping.
Yeah.
Like Coach T needs to be chirping.
Yeah. I really hope with like whenever they make the inevitable like merger, like Ducks and Don't Bothers, whenever they make that inevitable switch, I hope we don't lose Coach T as a character. I hope he keeps going. He's too good. He's too good. Like
I'm starting to think that they don't merge. I think that the Don't Bothers are the team that everyone.
The show is named The Mighty Ducks, though. How do they stay the villain if the show's named The Mighty Ducks?
That's true.
There's got to be some weird like switch over. And what I'm saying is, whenever they do that, I hope that Bombay keeps Coach T as an assistant coach. That would be, I would love that dynamic of Coach T as the assistant coach under Bombay.
That actually would make a great season 2. Or like maybe like the Alex finds a loophole through her research in Duckworth law firm, or, you know, like, cause she's the research person, right? Like she's the grunt that like does all that stuff. It's
well,
like
yeah, she's Stephanie's assistant. So yeah, she's doing all the legwork for Stephanie. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So she's used to this type of heavy research. And so I wonder if because that's where she found the stipend for them the surplus to start the team. And so I wonder if she finds some kind of like Bombay has the Ducks name trademarked. And so the Ice Palace is the home of the Ducks or something, like something crazy where like, and so the Ducks have to change their name and the Don't Bothers become the Ducks due to trademark law.
Interesting. Okay.
Do you think they want to go into copyright law in a kid's show?
I mean, well, it wouldn't shock me. Again, if I go over it, you mean mention it for 2 seconds and then
gloss over it loosely and then add some points that maybe don't add up and go.
Yeah, then yeah, for sure. I guess maybe I could see that happening. I feel
it's like in D3 when they changed the school logo to the Ducks from the Indians to the Ducks?
Warriors, but yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah, I hated that too. I thought that was fucking bullshit. You know, it was Eden Hall was a historic, you know, hockey institution, and just to change the name to the Ducks, I thought that was bullshit.
I mean, if they change Team USA's logo to the Ducks, America's logo to the Ducks logo, then like they have the audacity to change everything to the Ducks logo, Brandon.
Yeah. But then what do you do with all the, do they just go, like if that happens, the Ducks are just in the Ice Palace? What happens? And then you're saying the old Ducks just pick a new name and they keep all their fancy facilities and shit?
Yeah, they just become like the Hendricks Death Hawks or Death.
Do you think they rename them the Hawks and then just forget about the other Hawks?
No, it would be like the Hendricks Minotaurs. A Minotaur is a much better team name than the fucking Don't Bothers.
Yeah.
You know?
Anything's better than the Don't Bothers.
That's true. Yeah. Especially a Minotaur. Thanks for listening, everyone. Please remember to follow and like us on Instagram at The Cake Eaters Pod, on Twitter at The Cake Eaters. Also reach out to us via email, thecakeeaterspod@gmail.com, or visit our website, thecakeeaterspod.com.